Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the KD Adventures, and we are back with another episode in the Let's Build a Theme Park series here on the channel. So we're in episode 3 now. We're building, if you're new here and this is the first time you've seen this series, or this is the first episode that you've watched, we are building a huge theme park here on Planet Coaster. It's going to have about 6 or 7 different themed areas, all depending on the amount of space that I have left over. At the moment I've got, I think it's 6 areas in mind, but if there is any space left over then I will build a 7th area. But yeah, it all depends on how big the areas are, how much scenery I use and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a minimum of 6 areas in this park, and in the first 2 episodes, in episode 1 we started building that entrance plaza, which I was really happy with, and then in episode 2 we started building this pirate themed area, and also began building the huge pirate themed dark ride. So I'm mainly getting the inspiration for this ride from Pirates of the Caribbean at the Disney parks. So if you've been on Pirates of the Caribbean, you'll know where I've got most of this inspiration from for this ride. But yeah, it did start looking good in the last video. I didn't put too much detail into it. I was just mainly getting the layout of the ride and putting in the building. But I also began building that first scene as well of the ride. But in today's video I'm going to be completing the ride, and at the end of the video I'll give you a complete POV. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to in this video. You may have noticed that it is quite a long one. I do try and get these videos at around 20 to 25 minutes long. I do that by cutting the video down and speeding things up. And I've had to do that a lot in this video because I've spent a lot of time adding in all this scenery and building this dark ride. I can't give you a number of hours that I've worked on it, but it has been a long time. So the video is around 30 minutes long because I couldn't cut any more out, because even though I do speed things up and cut things out, I don't want to miss anything, any of the building out or adding in different bits of scenery. I want to show the whole process. So yeah, the video is slightly longer than I would have hoped, but there is a lot involved in it, and you'll get to see the whole process of me building, and you'll see just the amount of progress that has gone on in the past 2 weeks since I've been building this dark ride. On top of that, in the last episode I did mention that I was going to be releasing a new Planet Coaster episode in this series every single week. I was hoping that was going to be the case, but with the amount of time that I get to go on the game and do the building, the amount of detail that I have to put in, especially in these when I'm building these dark rides, I can't guarantee that it's going to be every week. I mean, it's taken me 2 weeks to build this dark ride and do all the scenes. I don't really get time to just sit down in one sitting and build the dark ride. I have to do it over a number of days throughout the week. So what you see in today's video, it's over a number of days, over many different hours. So yeah, it all depends on how busy I am that week. So I can't really guarantee a new video every week, as I thought I would be able to. This is going to be one of the main dark rides in the park. There's not going to be any as detailed in the park. It's mainly going to be based on coasters. They are going to be heavily themed coasters, but there's probably not going to be as many detailed themed dark rides in the park other than this pirate themed one. So yeah, it is a possibility that the Planet Coaster episodes will be coming out more frequently, but I can't promise they're going to be every single week. Because you don't know how long it's going to take to build these detailed rides. So yeah, as you can see, that first room already is starting to look quite good now. So as I'm going through this video, as I build each of the scenes, I'll discuss more of the story and what I was going for when building the different rooms. So yeah, with this one, I kind of wanted to go for a kind of like a dock bay. I don't know if that's the word for it, like a pirate dock. So you've got like loads of different barrels and crates and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the main overall story is that you're going into a village that has been overtaken by pirates. So you're going to see lots of different pirate animatronics and effects everywhere. You're going to have pirates firing guns at you and cannons, treasure, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, with this docking bay, you've got loads of different pirate animatronics scattered around. And as you go through the ride, the more action takes place. So in the first 2 rooms, there's not really a lot going on. But as you get into the main scene of the ride, which will be coming up later on in the video, there is a lot going on. There's lots of different pirate animatronics going off and tons of different effects and lighting. So yeah, that is the main story of the ride. But yeah, so that one was the docking bay. I think that's what you call it. I don't know if you know what the official name is. I think it's a dock. Then let me know down in the comments below. But now we're moving on to the jail scene. So this one is obviously inspired by the little jail scene that you get in Pirates of the Caribbean, the Disney parks. But I wanted to obviously put my own spin on it, so it's not exactly the same. And with this one, I actually use a lot of scenery from the Spooky Pack. So although there is a designated pirate themed pack in the game, there is also a bunch of other different DLC packs. You've got the Spooky Pack, you've got the Adventure Pack, which I'll be using a lot of when I build another area in the park that I have planned, which will all be jungle themed. So I'll be using that later on in the series. You've got loads of different other DLC packs in Planet Coaster though, so all of them can be used whenever really. So I'm going to be using lots of spooky themed DLC scenery on this jail scene area of the ride. As you can see, I've started adding in those different skeleton animatronics, some behind the bars, some that are going to be in front of the boat as it passes by. I've got those rats running around as well. I'm also adding in the different ivy on the wall as well, just to make it look quite run down. And then I'm also adding in the lighting effects as well, just to make it really, really spooky in there. With this village being overtaken by pirates, I wanted this jail cell room to be where the pirates have locked up some of the village residents, and obviously some of them aren't doing too well. Some of them have turned into skeletons, and some of them are still a little bit alive by the looks of things. So yeah, this is what this jail cell room is about. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about what is coming up on the series. I have discussed it in previous videos, but I have got a more of a plan set in stone now about what I want to do with this park. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, it's going to be a minimum of 6 different themed areas, and if I got the space, I'll put in a 7th themed area as well. I've got an actual drawn map of the park, so I've gone to that extent. I've drawn a map of the park of where I want the different areas to go, and how it's all going to flow nicely. So yeah, there's definitely going to be 6 areas in there. But yeah, so I've spoken about them in previous episodes about what I'm expecting to do, but these are definitely the ones that are set in stone now. So of course there's going to be this pirate themed area, which I'm building in this video, in the next video, maybe next couple of videos, and also there's going to be a spooky themed area. So although I've been using spooky themed scenery in the jail cell room on this pirate themed ride, I'm going to be using a lot more spooky scenery in the spooky themed area, of course. And that's going to be the next area that I work on, so that's going to be coming up in the next few episodes. There's also going to be a jungle area, which I briefly spoke about. I'm really excited to build that area because I've got a few ideas in mind for that one. I'm going to be using a lot of the adventure DLC pack in there. So yeah, I've got a lot of ideas for that one. I'm really excited to build that. And another area that I'm really excited to build, because I've also got a lot of ideas for, is an alien invasion themed area. So if you've ever been to Thorpe Park, the swarm area, that's the kind of feel I'm going to be going for with this one, but a bit more immersive. A lot more buildings around that have been attacked by aliens. A huge coaster. It's going to be really fun to build that one. And we're also going to be having a fantasy themed area. So that one, I've got a big mountain in mind, a huge mountain in mind, and it's going to have another giant coaster in there that goes around the mountain. I'm thinking a winged coaster for that one, just to kind of replicate like a dragon. That's what I've got in mind for that one. And then finally, I've got a Wild West area in mind. I've not really thought about that one too much yet, but I feel like I could do a good job on making a nice little Wild West themed area in the park as well. But if you have got any ideas of your own that you want me to use, whether that's for different areas or different coasters or rides, then let me know down in the comments below. In this video, I'm mainly focusing on completing the scenes of the rides, but in the next video, I'm planning on making that exterior to the building a bit more presentable, because at the moment it does stick out like a sore thumb really when you look at it. At the end of the video, you might be like, That looks atrocious on the outside. So in the next video I'm going to be making it look a lot better. It's going to be a huge castle, a huge pirate castle. I'm going to make it look really nice and really fit in with that pirate area. So yeah, this video is mainly focusing on those scenes though, as well as working on the exterior to the pirate dark ride. I'm also going to be adding in all the scenery around the pirate themed area, making it look really good, adding in different buildings, and also to hide some of that castle as well. So when you walk into the pirate land, you're not going to see just a giant castle on its own. There's going to be lots of different little buildings in front of it, so it kind of hides it a little bit. Of course you're going to see some of the giant castle, especially in that finale room, because it is quite tall, but it's also going to be hidden by a bunch of other buildings too. And of course along with that, I'm also going to be completing the queue to the ride as well, because at the moment that's just out in the open. So I'm going to be doing some work on the queue line. I do a little bit in this video, but it's not much at all. And to be honest, I'm not planning on making the queue line. I'm not going to be adding a load of scenery into that queue line, but I will be completing it in the next episode. If you've watched the last episode where we began building this pirate themed area, you'll have noticed that I put in a pirate ship as well. Of course, with a pirate themed area you need to put in a pirate ship. So I'll be building like a cave around that as well, putting lots of different scenery in, maybe some different effects like some fire, because I thought that would look really cool. So that'll also be in the next episode. But having said that, there is a lot that I have got planned for that area outside of the dark ride, so it might run into 2 episodes. I'm not too sure yet. It all depends on how much scenery I put down and how much time it takes up, because as I said at the start of the video, I don't really like making these videos over 20-25 minutes long. Of course it does happen sometimes, like with this video at around 30 minutes. But I do plan on going for about 20 to 25 minutes, so it all depends on how much scenery I put in and how much time it takes me to put in all that scenery. So it may possibly be 1 episode more of the pirate area, or it may possibly be 2, but definitely it won't be more than 2. So we'll be moving on to that spooky themed area in 3 episodes time maximum. As I mentioned earlier, if you do have any ideas for different areas or rides, then let me know down in the comments below. But as well as that, if you have any ideas for names, like I'm going to need a name for this pirate dark ride, and I'm also going to need a name for the actual park itself. So if you've got any ideas for those, then let me know down in the comments below. As you can see now, we're on that final scene where I've started adding in the different animatronics, the different scenery. We've got that huge pirate ship that's in the middle. We've got the different fire effects, we've got the different water splashes. It's likely that you're going to get quite wet on this ride because there's a lot of water splashes that go directly over the boat. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this scene. It's the end scene, the finale. There's so many effects going on. We've got those different pirate animatronics firing guns at the guests as they go past on the boat. There's just a lot happening in this room, and as you can see as well, on the left hand side of the boat, originally that was all going to be it's blocked off really, so there wasn't going to be anything happening on the left hand side. But I thought that isn't what dark rides are about. Dark rides, they have scenery going and effects going on all around. There's stuff to look at no matter where you're sat. So I didn't really, that's why I changed that. I changed it so that it's not just everything going off in the middle. You've got stuff going on all around you on both sides of the boat. And at the end I thought it'd be a good idea to put in a pirate band playing some pirate songs to finish off the ride. So of course, with this being a dark ride, there needs to be plenty of different lighting effects, but in Planet Coaster, the lighting effects don't activate unless the game is in night mode. So if the sun's out, those lights won't come on at all. I think if you go quite deep underground, I think the lighting activates then. But of course this isn't underground, so for the lighting to come on, the game does need to be in night mode. But having said that, I have added in all the lighting in anyway, just because it can be rode at any time of day really. It doesn't have to be in the daytime, but yeah, if you do ride it in the day, it's not going to have those lighting effects on it. But yeah, it definitely looks better in night mode, because we've got those really cool orange lighting effects around on that pirate ship, some blue lighting effects as well. with the fire effects and the different water effects, they go off all day, no matter what time of day it is in the game. So yeah, it does look really good both times of day, really. So you can ride it whenever you want. So whilst we're on a Planet Coaster episode, it's probably the best time to announce a brand new Planet Coaster series that I'm going to be doing on the channel. As well as this Planet Coaster series, I also do the Planet Coaster Roller Coaster Recreation 1 Hour Challenge, where I try and recreate an actual real life coaster in just 1 hour on Planet Coaster. As I mentioned earlier, it does take a lot of time to build stuff on this game, so having a 1 hour time limit is very difficult to do. So if you want to go check those videos out, I'll leave links down in the description below. So far we've done Nemesis and Rita at Alton Towers, and also the Incredible Hulk at Universal's Islands of Adventure. So yeah, they're really fun videos to do. So yeah, go check those videos out. But yeah, there's going to be another Planet Coaster series on the channel, so this will be the third Planet Coaster series that we've got going. I'm not too sure when I'm going to be releasing the first video of it yet. It will be pretty soon. But it is going to be Planet Coaster tutorials. So I've been thinking about doing this for a little while now, because I know a lot of people have purchased the game recently since it got released on the console. I've had a lot of people ask me about different things in the game, how to do different things in the game. So I thought it might be a good idea to do tutorial videos here on the channel. They're not going to be super long videos. They're definitely not going to be half an hour long like this one. They might just be a few minutes, some of them, because it all depends on what I'm going to be doing the tutorial on. If it's something like just adding in different bits of scenery, then it's not going to be a very long video at all, because that doesn't take too long to do. But if it's something that's a bit more difficult to do, like the terraforming or adding in different effects and triggers, then those videos might be a little bit longer. It all depends really, but I'm going to try and cover pretty much everything. I know they have got a tutorial already built into the game, so you can follow that if you want, but I thought it'd be a good idea to do it here on the channel as well, and going a bit more in depth into things, because I know a lot of the advanced things like the terraforming and triggers and different effects and all that stuff, and making things look really good. I know it is quite difficult to do in the game. So I thought it would be a good idea to do these tutorials, just to help you out if you are struggling with a few different things. And if there is anything in the game that you want me to do a tutorial on, then just let me know, either in the comments or on social media, on Instagram. Just let me know and I'll make a tutorial on it, because I don't think it'll take me too long to make those videos at all. I've been playing this game since it came out a number of years ago now. It was literally on my birthday, so I've been playing it since the day it came out. So I know pretty much everything on this game now, all the different tips and tricks about what to do with building. So yeah, I'm going to try and share all my knowledge on Planet Coaster in the brand new tutorial series on the channel. As I said, I don't know when the first video is going to be out. The first video will probably be something pretty simple, like how to build a coaster, something like that probably. So that shouldn't be too long on the channel. Might be at the end of this month, in February, or it might just be at the start of March, I'm not too sure yet, but it definitely won't be too long. These tutorial videos, they are going to be on the PC version of the game. I know a lot of people have bought it on the console recently, since it came out not too long ago. But a lot of the stuff it does, a lot of the tips that I'll be giving out, all the different tutorials, they will be on things that can be used on the console version as well. I've got the console version, so I know things are pretty much the same. Obviously the controls will be different, but the actual procedure itself, it will be the same as on the PC version. And whilst I'm on the topic of the Roller Coaster Recreation 1 Hour Challenge, the next one will be coming very soon. I know I haven't done it in a little while. The last one was the Hulk. I forgot when I last released that video. It was a little while ago, so the next one is in the works. And I did mention in a previous video that it is going to be the Smiler at Alton Towers, which is going to be incredibly hard, but it's going to be very fun to do, very fun to try and do in an hour. It's going to be very difficult, I can assure you now, but I am going to try and do it, and it's going to be coming very soon on the channel, so stay tuned for that. something that I'll be covering in the tutorials is terraforming, and that's what I'm doing right now. And that's where you raise the terrain up and alter the terrain, just so it fits a bit better with your rides. And also if you want to build mountains and stuff like that, it is very hard to master. I definitely find it easier on the PC version. It can be quite difficult on the console version. But it's all because you've got loads more controls when you've got a keyboard. I definitely find with a PlayStation controller it's a lot more difficult to move around and place objects and stuff, because when you've got a keyboard you've got tons of different keys to use, so it is a little bit more easier, and I definitely find that when terraforming it's much easier on the PC version. I think I'd struggle a lot more if I was building this pirate dark ride on the console. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a tutorial on terraforming, along with plenty of other stuff that you can do in Planet Coaster very soon on the channel. Finally, as you can see now, I'm just adding in the final touches to that end scene, adding in those different animatronics. I actually discovered a few different animatronics that I'd never seen before in the game, which was really good. I wish I'd discovered them earlier on when I started building this dark ride, but as I wanted to make this end scene full of different effects in animatronics, now is the good time to discover them. We've also got plenty of different fire effects, and we've also got that pirate animatronic that gets shot back by the dynamite around her, that gets shot at. So I thought that was really cool. We've got another animatronic that falls off the pirate ship in the middle as well. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff going on in this end scene, and as you'll see in a minute as well, they're all on triggers. And that's one of the tutorials that I'm going to be doing when that series comes out, because triggers are really cool, a really good thing to do in the games, especially with the dark rides, because what that means is that when the boat passes a certain area of the track, that's when the animatronic or effect gets activated. So with this end scene, with all the stuff going on, I wanted to make sure that all that stuff happens while the boat goes past, so it doesn't miss anything. With this end scene, it was originally all going to be a dark ride, it was all going to be inside, even with this end scene, but I thought, well, I did try it. I tried putting a roof on top of it at one point. It just didn't look very good. It didn't look very good at all. So I thought I would keep this end scene with an open roof. It's still going to have those walls around it. I am going to be decorating them a bit more in the next video, adding a bit more scenery to those walls, as well as the exterior of the ride as well. I'm going to be making it a bit more pleasant on the eye in the next video. But yeah, I definitely didn't want to add the roof in because it didn't look very good at all with that, because it's got the massive pirate ship in the middle. It meant that I needed to put the wall super high, and you'd be able to see it across the whole park because it was that tall, and that's really not what I want, not what I want at all. And when you come in through the car park as well, as you enter the park, you can see this massive building. Don't get me wrong, you can still see the building quite well as you enter the entrance plaza, but it's definitely a lot better than it would have looked if I was to put a roof on top of that end scene. I'd say when building a park in Planet Coaster, that is one of the main things that you need to look at. You need to look at what you're building from different areas in the park, because you don't want to be seeing things from one area in another area. For example, if I was in the alien invasion area in this park, I don't want to be looking over and seeing a giant pirate ship in the distance, because you want to be immersed in that experience when you're at a theme park. So yeah, you need to look at what you're building from loads of different areas in the park, just to make sure that later on in the game when you are building that area, you don't see it. So we are coming to the end of the video now. I'm just adding in a few last finishing touches to that end scene, and also to the station as well. I will be putting some more work into the station in the next video, but I thought I'd just start it off, just adding a few little lights in, and adding some more rock work around as well to that station area in this video. But yeah, just adding in those final touches. So yeah, as I said at the start of the video, I'm going to be including a little POV for you at the end of the full ride itself. And yeah, that will be it. As I said, in the next video we're going to be working more on the actual area itself, adding in different little buildings and facilities, because of course you need to add in those facilities like toilets and information desks and shops and all that stuff. So we're going to be doing that in the next episode, as well as doing the exterior of the building and also working on that queue line as well. So that'll be covering the next episode, maybe the next 2 episodes, and that'll be it. That will be the pirate area complete, 1 area complete already, and then we'll be moving on to the spooky themed area, which I'm very excited for. I've got a few different ideas in mind, which I cannot wait to put into the game. So that's it for this episode of Let's Build a Theme Park here at the KD Adventures. I'm going to leave you with a POV of our now complete pirate themed dark ride. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.